Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Uh and here we are. Here we are. Life is just a wave podcast, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. This is your boy, big fucking waves in the building, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Shout out to all of the surfers all across the world, bro. It don't matter where you at, man. What ocean you sliding on. Y'all already know, man. Midday Madness, man, is back in the mix, man. We're live Monday morning, afternoon, talking about, well, what we've been talking about all season up until this point, man. How bad this football team actually is, man. And look, it's super repetitive at this point. You know what I mean? It's super repetitive at this point, man. I've I wanted to go live yesterday right after the fucking game, man, but it was so devastating to me, man, just to see how just how bad we actually are. And did anybody catch Frank Reich's press conference yesterday? This man has no idea whatsoever what the fucking problems here are here in Carolina. All he kept saying is live by the mantra of keep pounding. That's all we're going to keep doing is just going off of that. Hey, keep pounding, and then just hope that that the answers just figure themselves out. Man, guys, if you asking me, this shit sounds and looks just like the Matt Rule era here in Carolina. It really feels like that. It really feels like that. Shout out to Omar, man. He just said it best, man. No life, no energy on this team. You are absolutely correct, man. Shout out to Danny. He says Waves, Bryce looking like Zach Wilson. I was for Bryce, man, but it ain't looking too good. And again, man, I want to be very clear on the Bryce Young slander, right? I think that we need to be very, very clear and understanding of that. Listen, Bryce Young did not have a bad game yesterday, right? The interceptions that he threw, one of them was a bad pass, forced it into traffic. I think that he probably got to see that safety in that corner playing right there on that throw that he made. But at the same time, guys, man, listen, every rookie is not going to make an impact right away. And I think that the more that we start to understand and accept that as football fans, the better off that it's going to be. Because again, we're expecting the guy, just because we drafted him number one overall pick, that he's going to come out and make an impact right away. Guys, it's unfair. It's completely unfair, especially considering the circumstances of what we have going on here in Carolina. We are not a good football team, guys. Honestly, our defense yesterday to me was the worst part of the game. The defense couldn't stop anything. We allowed David Montgomery to go over 100 yards rushing. We gave up 3 touchdowns passing, over 300 yards passing in the game. There was no answer whatsoever for the defensive side of the ball. They couldn't make any stops at all, right? So when you're talking about Bryce Young and everybody keeps saying Bryce Young, guys, be a football fan before you're a Panther fan. See what's going on. See what's happening. See everything that's going on around him, to say to yourself, is this kid really being set up to have success? And I'm shaking the hell out of my camera. And the answer is no. He's not being set up to have a ton of success here in Carolina. Yes, is he going to make some mistakes? Guys, Peyton Manning, a Hall of Fame quarterback that you can name arguably as a top 5 quarterback of all time. Guys, he led the league in interceptions his rookie season. And the list goes on about how many great quarterbacks struggled their first year. Matthew Stafford, he started the season 0-6. He struggled tremendously as a rookie here in Carolina. I mean, when he was a rookie in Detroit. So stop. Everybody keeps saying that it's Bryce Young, it's Bryce Young, it's Bryce Young. And y'all already know what my favorite words is, man, when it comes to Carolina. This is a fucking shit show. 100% a shit show. It is a show full of shit here in Carolina. Everything about this football team is bad. Like at first, I was saying to myself, hey, this is year one of a rebuild. But did you hear Frank Wright? Did you hear Frank Wright's post-game conference? Did anybody take a look at that, man? And I'm going to drop the link in here soon. But anybody take a look at what Frank Wright said, man, at the end of end of this game. This man literally, he doesn't even have faith. He couldn't even decide if we're going to win a game. When they asked him the question of, Are we going to win a game this year? He said that if we're just planning for this year, if we're planning for the future years, Frank Wright doesn't even have the answers to how this football team is going to be fixed. He doesn't. Guys, I got a strong feeling that at the bye week, if we go into the bye week and we are 0-6, which I very much expect us to be 0-6 going into the bye week, there's going to be a major change made here in Carolina. A major change. And I think that Scott Fitterer is going to get fired and he's going to hand the reins over to Dan Morgan. I think Dan Morgan is going to be our new GM or interim GM. And I think Scott Fitterer is going to get fired. Because, guys, I expected us to struggle this year. But if you would have told me that we would start the season 0-6, I didn't see this happening. I didn't see this happening whatsoever. On no form or fashion did I say it, that this version of the Carolina Panthers would be 0-6, right? Granted, we started the season last year 1-5, but you got to think about this, man. If I'm David Tepper and I'm the owner of the Carolina Panthers right now, I'm looking at this thing holistically, right? Well, let's look at what the GM did, okay? And we're going to break it down, man. I'm going to put everybody, give everybody a chance to come up to the channel, man, speak their piece. But let's just go back to last season. I just want to start there. Okay, so number one, you traded for Baker Mayfield. You allowed him to come into the season. He starts the season 1-5 with talent still on the roster of a Christian McCaffrey and a DJ Moore. The defense still had, was doing pretty good last year. And to me, last year's team was better than this version's team that we have last year. Baker Mayfield struggles mightily, man. You get rid of Baker Mayfield, or you benched him, or whatever, whatever the fuck happened. You get rid of him. Then you fire the head coach. You trade away Christian McCaffrey. Oh, yeah, Christian McCaffrey is having a Hall of Fame type fucking season over there with the 49ers because he's on a good fucking team, right? He's running behind one of the best offensive lines in the league. He's playing for one of the best play callers in the NFL. And the 49ers have a great defense, right? So he's just in the ideal situation. Well, then, you get to the offseason, you need to go get a quarterback. Not necessarily mad about you trading up number one, but you trade away DJ Moore. Oh, yeah, guess what? DJ Moore is having a Hall of Fame year. And you really don't even have a wide receiver on your team that's capable of stretching the field like DJ Moore was able to do. Hell, he was doing it last year. So now you're getting rid of that. Those guys are having success at their respective teams now. And then you trade up all to number one. You put hell of assets into bringing in this experienced coaching staff, right? The goal was, the plan in the offseason was to bring as much as experience in from a coaching staff perspective to be able to get this young team to play up to their maximum level. So far, I have not seen it. I have not seen it. As much as experience is on this fucking coaching staff, I have not seen it. I have not seen the experience come out in the play calling. I have not seen the experience when we're talking about Bryce Young's development. Josh McCown, our quarterbacks coach, I have yet to see him, man, and what kind of development he's been doing with Bryce Young. Everything that this offseason was supposed to be has been the complete opposite of what's going on. And you're going to start losing the locker room. How do you keep a team motivated after an 0-5 start? And honestly, looking at the schedule, there is no game that I can say that the Panthers are going to for sure win. There is no game. Our best opportunity is going to be after the bye week when we go through the stretch of the Colts, Texans, and Bears. And those games are not even must wins. Like those are not even games that I can say for sure we're going to absolutely win those football games. I literally can't say it. We took 2 steps backward and already lost. The season is already gone. It's already gone. The season it's already over. So postseason talk, none of that talk is pointless. At this point, if I'm the Carolina Panthers and David Tepper, I need to make a change right now to save the future. The future needs to be saved. Not this season. This season is already over, but the future needs to be saved. You have an opportunity right now to save the future. And how do we go about saving the future at this point? Well, the number one thing that you need to do is trade Brian Burns. You got to trade Brian Burns. There's no reason for him to be on this football team. No reason at all for him to be on this football team at all. There's no reason for it. Why would you have a premier defensive end paying him top 5 money on a team that's probably not going to be contending for another 2 to 3 years, right? It's pointless. You don't have a first round pick next year, and you need a first round pick next season. You got to get a first round pick next year. There's no way in hell that the Panthers can go into next year without a first round pick. And Frank Reich kind of said it yesterday. If you go back to his press conference, he kind of said it in his press conference yesterday. He said that Brian Burns deserves so much better. He said that. Those were his words, that Brian Burns deserves so much better. He deserves to be on the team. Brian Burns has been losing his whole career here in Carolina. His whole fucking career that he's been here in Carolina, he's been a part of a losing team. He's been a part of a losing team every year that he's been here in Carolina. Every fucking year. Trade that man right now. Trade him. Trade him, bro. Get him off the books. Get 2 first round picks for him. Even if they're late first round picks, I don't give a fuck. Trade him to a team, one of the top teams, the Bengals, one of the top teams that are still on the verge of contending and being a Super Bowl contender. Get 2 first round picks for him, man. Get him off the books and use those first round picks to continue to build this team up, man. You got to build this team. This team has holes everywhere. It's not just on the offensive side of the ball. Guys, Sam Franklin is our best player in the secondary right now. Sam Franklin. Sam Franklin is our best player in the secondary right now. You can't generate any pass rush outside of Brian Burns. The linebackers are mediocre. And yes, Kruger Hill got hurt yesterday. We're so banged up, man, everywhere that we are. Savala, our starting guard. Now we're down 3 guards on the offensive line. Shit cannot get any fucking worse in Carolina, guys. This is the bottom of the bottom. And honestly, I'm not ruling out 0-17. I'm not ruling it out. I really don't see where the win is going to come. Like even with this next 3 games after the bye week, the coach don't even know where the fuck is going to come from. We missed a lot with draft picks. TMJ is dressing with no snaps. Exactly, bro. Look at this. Look at the schedule. Our next couple of games. Dolphins at Miami. We're going to get blown the fuck out next Sunday. We're probably going to get beat by 30 points. It's probably going to be 35. They're going to win by 35 points because we don't have nowhere near the type of secondary to guard their wide receiving core. We don't have anybody. Who's going to guard Tyreek Hill? Who's going to guard Jalen Waddle? Who's going to stop their running back a chain? They have too much speed for us on offense. We're going to get fucking destroyed next week in Miami. And we're going to be 0-6. It's about to get in. Not to mention, we traded up for DJ Johnson and not even using it. Elizabeth, you're absolutely correct. Under David Tepper, all it's been is failure. All it's been is failure. That's all that it's been. Nothing good has happened under David Tepper as an owner. Nothing good. Like we can't stop the bleeding. You guys see the caption of this live. We just can't stop it. We don't have the talent. We don't have the coaching. We don't have the ownership. Guys, the Panthers are in for some dark days. As Panther fans, guys, I don't even know the answers. I don't even know how we get out of this hole. I really don't. You've dug yourself so bad of a hole. I don't even understand how you get out of it. Our only hope is that you I don't fucking know. I don't even have the words, man. I really don't have the words because I'm sitting here trying to think of some positivity to sit up here and say that well, this is going to be a bright spot for us. I don't see it because you're stuck. You're stuck. It would be different if we would be losing out and we had the number one overall pick. If we had that, I would be saying to myself, like, okay, well, at least we can get, if they don't feel like Bryce is the guy, maybe you can get Caleb. Maybe you can get Marvin Harrison Jr. Like if we had a fucking pick next year, I would feel a little bit more confident. Maybe you can get one of those top guys. Like Supernova. I mean, it's true, bro. Like you're in the worst position that you could possibly be in. You're 0-6 without a first round pick next year. And there's not even, like, guys, really think about our roster. We really don't have any star talent. You don't even have, right now, there's not one premier star on our offense. No stars on our offense at all. We're probably one of the only teams in the NFL right now that does not have a star player. The Cardinals are playing better than us, and they have Josh Dobbs at quarterback. The Cardinals. They were supposed to be the laughingstock of the NFL. Hell, at this point, trade for Kyler Murray. If you really don't feel like Bryce Young is it, if you don't feel like Bryce is it, trade for Kyler Murray. I don't know, man. I don't think Bryce is the problem, but what the fuck are we going to do? Really, what are we going to do? I don't even know the answer. That's why I didn't even go live yesterday, guys, after the game, because I don't even know, like, how to fix this. I really don't know how do we fix this. What do we do to get better? Like honestly, I mean, what, man, shout out to Kurtz. We're literally going to have to fire everyone, hire a president that knows the operations, that will hire the GM will hire the coach, and so forth. Teffa sit back and enjoy the ride. I mean, listen, man, but the thing about it is you just brought this coaching staff in. Like, you just brought this coaching staff in, so it's hard to say that you fire everybody. I don't think that you fire everybody. I think that you promote somebody within. I think that we have some head coaches on this damn football team. You got to promote somebody within. Maybe Ejiro is the next head coach for the Panthers. Like, literally, maybe Ejiro is it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you give Deuce Staley an opportunity. I don't fucking know, man. Maybe Jim Caldwell. At this point, I would rather have Jim Caldwell come in and take over. We must drown first. Like at least, like, I mean, because Frank Wright is fucking pathetic. I watched his press conference yesterday. Listen, if you guys missed it, go back and watch Frank Wright's press conference from the game yesterday. This man has no answer for what's going on here in Carolina. He sounds like the same Matt Rule shit. We're this close. We're this close. We're almost going to be there. We're going to get it. I promise you guys. Have faith. Keep the faith. You want me to keep fucking faith and we're 0-6. 0-6. And then looking at the schedule, you're not winning against the Dolphins. Thank God that, guys, we're so terrible for our bye week, they put prayer hands. They have prayer hands beside our bye week on the schedule. We're that bad that Bleacher put prayer hands beside our bye week. That's how bad we are as a football team. That Texans game, that's not even a win. I feel like the Texans are going to beat us. I feel like we're gonna lose. I feel like we're not gonna win that Texans game. The Colts game is our only opportunity. Like, seriously, the Colts game is the only game that I can sit here and say that, like, we really have a legit chance of winning. But then after that, the Chicago Bears, that's DJ Moore's revenge game. DJ Moore probably gonna have like 300 yards receiving in that game. I don't think we win that. So the Colts game is really the only game that I can see us winning, and that's November 5th. So you're going to go into that game 0-7, and then even if you win that one, you're 1-7, and you got games against the Bears, the Cowboys, the Titans, the Bucks, the Saints, the Falcons, the Packers, the Jags, and the Bucks again to finish the season. Guys, 1-17, 1-16, 17 is very much a realistic possibility. This team is bad. Man, I'm about to put the link out there, man, because I'm so guys, I am so sick. I am so sick of talking about this football team. Every year, it's the same thing over and over and over again. It's the same shit. We're talking about it every year. The same stuff. The offense can't score points. And when the offense is actually playing good, the defense can't do anything. It's a fucking embarrassment, man. It is so stressful to be a Panthers fan. We probably have to have the most stressful fan base out of any team in the NFL. Like I feel like the early 2000 Browns, the Cleveland Browns. I really feel like that. We're the new laughing stock of the NFL. We're the only team in the NFL without a win. The only team. The worst team in the NFL. We're the worst team in the NFL. And it's not even close. It's not even close, man. Man, the link is out there, man. Anybody want to pull up to the channel, man? We doing open microphone, man, for anybody want to pull up and vent, man. Get their point across, man. We got 32 people up in here, man. Shout out to everybody. Life is Just a Wave podcast. If you have not subscribed to the channel, guys, please make sure you guys go ahead and hit the like button on this video and subscribe and hit that red button as well, man. Look, I just don't know what else to say. I really don't, man. I really don't know what else to fucking say. I have no idea. Omar's in the building. Omar, what's good with it, bro?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Waves?
Yo, Omar. You there,
Yeah,
Omar?
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yo, yo. I can't hear you, Omar. I don't know what it is. Can everybody hear Omar? It might be me. I don't know why that happens. Try unmuting and coming back in, Omar. Yeah, so man, I really don't know, guys. And I'm sitting here, guys. I'm looking at some of the news that's coming out, just to trying to stay on top of what's going on here in Carolina. Um, you could hear me, Omar. Yeah, I could hear you. But yeah, let me leave out and come back in. I think that worked last time. I'm gonna leave and pop back in, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Let me leave and come back in. Give me 2 seconds. All right, man. We back up in here, yo. Can everybody hear me, man? We got DJ Free in the building. We'll go pull DJ Free up here, man, in just a second. I apologize about the damn technical difficulties, everybody. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. DJ, what's good with it, DJ? Yo, DJ, you there? I can hear you a little bit moving around. You there?
Yo, mic check, mic check. Can you hear me now?
Omar in the building. Omar, say something, Omar.
Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me now?
All right, let's try this again. Omar, you there, bro?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, something going on with my settings, man. I don't know why it does that. CLT coming in the building, man. Y'all go ahead and hold it down, man. I cannot hear y'all when y'all coming in. I don't know what's going on.
CLT, can you hear me?
Hold on one second.
Hey, CLT, I don't know if you said anything. I can't hear you on my side.
All right, I can't hear shit from nobody. Hold up, man. I might have to refresh this whole thing, man, and pop out and pop back in. Let's try this. Let's try this. Everybody, I'm gonna get everybody back in here in just a second, man. We trying to get. I know y'all can hear y'all. I know y'all can hear them. I know y'all can hear them, but I can't. I got no. I can't. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell going on over here. Give me a couple seconds, guys. We'll go get this shit and pop this conversation off. I'm gonna refresh the system, pop back in, man, and we'll be right back. God damn, man, what the hell? Yo, Omar Christian, man, y'all boys say something right quick.
Yo, yo,
Yo,
what's good?
mic,
If y'all can
mic
hear
check,
me,
mic
Yeah,
check,
I can
mic
hear you.
check.
this shit is acting the fuck up, bro. Yo,
Yo, I can hear you.
yeah, I can hear you now, bro. We good now, bro. I just had to play with this shit a little bit. What's good with it,
Man, what's good, man? I
man?
done already started the bag over the head movement. I done already did that.
Yeah, I see the man. Y'all check out Christian, his profile pic, man. he got the bag over the Panther logo, man. That shit dope. You might as well put that shit on a t-shirt, man.
Hey man, that's what's about to happen, man. Hey man, we finna do 2 for 30 right now. We finna do 2 for 30.
Yeah, go ahead, Christian, man. Get your spiel, man. We'll let Omar go next. Omar, you there, bro?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Can
Yeah,
anybody
I
hear
can
me?
hear you good now, man.
All
It's
right,
something,
yes,
man.
sir.
Something happens when I'm adding people on, like for whatever reasons, it don't allow me to hear you guys right away. I have to literally create a whole new window for StreamYard when I'm trying to do it. So I don't know. But go ahead, man. Y'all boys get y'all piece off, man. I gotta hear it. I wanna hear it.
Yeah, man, I'm disappointed. It's it's I we gotta fire Frank. It's time. It's time to make that move because anytime that you're calling a screen pass for Ian Thomas, you should be fired. That was the worst play call I've probably seen in my life, in our lifetime. It was just egregious. He's making Matt Rule look like a head coach. I mean, I know we were bad with Matt Rule, but Jesus Christ, were we this bad with Matt Rule? Because this is just lethargic. I mean, we could. This is just egregious. The defense is deflated. I can't. I'm not. I can't get mad at them. We put them in horrible situations. Bryce is gonna make mistakes. I'm not blaming Bryce, and it's unfair to blame him for these things because they're not even utilizing him. He's a playmaker. You're trying to make him into this perfection quarterback. If you wanted to do that, then you should have got CJ Stroud. And it seemed like that's what we're looking at, a conflict of interest. And it looks like now it looks like sabotage that Frank Wright is trying to force Bryce out of the job because he didn't get his way, but he took the job because this is the only place that he had available. And that's what it's looking like right now. And it's very suspect, and we all can see it. And I'm very disappointed in Frank because you have a quarterback that is a playmaker. And you told us, well, we want guys to make plays. We want playmakers on the team. You got a playmaker, but you're trying to make him a statue quarterback. That's not his job. It's not what he's good at. That's not what you draft him for. If you wanted that, you should have got C.J. Stroud. But you chose Bryce. The franchise wanted Bryce, and you built this team for C.J. Stroud. You didn't build it for Bryce Young, and that's the problem that you're running into right now. And Frank should be fired. And that's how I feel about it. And we got to make trades because this team as is. We got to make trades because we're long as Scott Fitter is there, we're never gonna hit on the picks. So unless we get somebody else in there, it's not looking great. We're gonna be 0-10 this year, and it's really gonna be bad. And I'm disappointed right now.
Yeah, man. So just to respond to that, man, then courtesy we'll let you go, then we'll have CLT follow up, man. I'm sorry, Omar. Uh Man, here's the thing about the whole CJ Stroud stuff that I don't like, right? And this is one thing that I really, really do not like that a lot of people keep saying. Could CJ Stroud been a better choice? We don't know.
No,
CJ Stroud could have came to this team and did and struggled just as bad, right? Like to me, I'm 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 hearing people say, well, we should have chose Stroud, we should have chose Stroud. But how do you
no,
know that CJ Stroud wouldn't have struggled just as much on this football team? Like you got to remember something, man. Like football is not played by one player. One player does not dictate how good of a team is going to be. Like I give you prime example. The Cincinnati Bengals. They have started the season worse than anybody could have predicted them to start this football season, right? And they have an elite quarterback. They have elite wide receiver weapons. They have everything that you would want to. They've been in two AFC championships back to back. Football is played by 11 players. You have to, as a coaching staff, have to know what talent you have, how to maximize that talent, and put them in positions to succeed. I'm a youth football coach, bro, and I understand that concept, right? Like, I cannot say that if CJ Stroud was the pick, that he would. Has Bryce Young played great? he hasn't played great. Has he played like a rookie? He's absolutely played like a rookie quarterback, right? Man, I can give you a list right now of Hall of Fame quarterbacks that had terrible rookie seasons. Because you know why? If you're going number one overall, you're probably going to a terrible fucking football team. I want people to stop saying that Bryce Young is the fucking problem. He's not the problem. He's not the problem. Bruh, no quarterback would succeed on our football team right now. No quarterback. We don't have bruh. Don't you understand this? We three of our starting offensive guards are out. Three starting guards are out. You don't have the two starters, and you don't even have the rookie that you drafted to replace one of the starters. You don't have it. So again, when people sitting up here talking about Bryce Young is the problem, oh, it's Bryce. We should have took CJ. CJ wouldn't even did well with this team and this coaching staff. Again, you cannot look. Cam Newton started the season 0-6 as a rookie. You cannot sit up here and start. You cannot sit up here and talk about what what would have happened. We didn't draft CJ Stroud. So guess what? We got to live with Bryce Young. We gave up too much assets to get him and bring him in for everybody to be giving up now. I think the commentator, if y'all listen to the commentating of that game yesterday, he said the best thing that I've ever heard anybody break down the Panthers team. He said that you gotta put pieces around Bryce Young. This is a rebuild team. You got to start putting pieces around him. Now, when we put pieces around him, and if he continues to struggle with pieces, then I can sit up here and say that we made the wrong choice at quarterback. But until then,
Facts.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, bro. I got to see this man get some weapons and an offensive line that's capable of protecting, get a run game. Right now, Chuba Hubbard is our best fucking running back on this team. Chuba Hubbard is the
That's a
best running
fact.
back on the team, and we went
That's
to go
one.
get a fucking running back and paid him 25 fucking million. And our fucking running back, a third round pick, is our best running back on this team.
Yeah, we should have
Yeah.
signed what's the Foreman back,
Should have just kept
honestly.
Foreman for the 3 mil. Yeah,
Go ahead,
that would have
Omar.
been a
You up
smart thing.
next, bro. I'm
Hey,
done, Omar. Go ahead.
appreciate it, man. I'm hopping here. I won't be too long. And I feel like as somebody that has put criticism on Bryce because he wasn't my guy, some of it is overhyped and it's not all on him. Because like my man was saying earlier, we don't have it's not like everybody's built in on Bryce. We have no offensive system to use his strengths. I will say that. And Wade, I was looking at an older video you put out a couple months ago. David Tepper, right or wrong this direction. David Tepper is the problem. David Tepper wanted a offensive coach, so he went with Frank Wright. David Tepper wanted Bryce Young, so he went with Bryce Young. But David Tepper don't know nothing about football. So David Tepper put all these pieces together and now is playing out on the field and everybody just looked like some straight shit. So I don't think we will ever be out of this purgatory of hell until David Tepper sells the team because David Tepper is going to always want to have his hands in something. He's not going to sit back and hire football people to do the football stuff. David Tepper is going to want his guys and who he thinks is going to help. And so I think that's the first problem there. And there's nothing we can do about the owner. I think it's just going to be like this until he passes away or until he sells the team. It's just we're going to be in this hellhole. And so that's something that I'm thinking is just the future for us. I don't know when we get our first win. I don't see it happen at all. Frank is definitely. I think Frank. If we win less than 3 games, I think Frank and Scott will be out at the same time. And so then maybe Tepper learns his lesson, brings in a GM that then hires a coach that fully understands Bryce. That's all we can really hope for at this point.
Yeah, and before, cause we got CLT going up next, man. Omar, I appreciate that, bro. But I want to answer this question in the chat. He said Andy Dalton threw for 400 with the same receivers. Andy Dalton is a veteran quarterback. He is a veteran quarterback, man, that understands the game. He understands defensive schemes and how they try to scheme. He's a veteran quarterback that has been in this league and saw everything. You cannot compare a veteran quarterback to a rookie QB, bro. Like again,
Facts.
I can give you a list right now of how many Hall of Fame quarterbacks struggled in their rookie seasons. I don't want to hear shit about Bryce Young, bro. Bryce Young is not the fucking problem on this team. He is doing what a rookie quarterback does. He is struggling. Not every number one pick is going to hit right off the back. It doesn't happen like that in football. And if you know football, you would understand that. So I'm questioning some of y'all football knowledge because if you know football, you would understand that not every single quarterback is going to dominate right away. And then on top of that, we're not even playing to Bryce Young's strengths. What allowed him to have success at Alabama? He is a
Trevor
quarterback
Lawrence did
that,
not succeed year one, and he's a generational talent.
yeah,
Yep, and he's a playmaker.
but yeah, you said Trevor Lawrence. But my thing about Trevor Lawrence is, I'm gonna tell you,
I
Trevor
said he
Lawrence,
did not. He did not succeed his rookie year.
exactly.
Because of
That's
Urban
the
Myers.
Yeah, he
That's
did not
why.
succeed his rookie year. But anyway, CLT in the building. CLT, go ahead and pop off, man.
Man, what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna start it off by saying, as a fan, I cannot lie. When I watch the game, we can be a little bit egregious. We see a play go wrong, we blame it on Bryce, and that's just being a fan. When you mid game, you watching this shit, you get upset, you tired of losing. Now, what I can say is, I feel like David Tepper made the mistake in hiring Frank Wright, based off the draft pick that he selected. You go get Frank Wright. Yes, he's an offensive minded coach, but he's not the new age offensive coach. He's the prototypical offensive minded coach with the play calling, et cetera, et cetera. If you're gonna go that route, then yes, you should have drafted C.J. Stroud because he's the prototypical quarterback. You don't have the prototypical quarterback in Bryce Young. You have a smaller quarterback, meaning that you need a coach that's new age offense, which would technically be Thomas Brown coming from the Sean McVay coaching tree. Second, like you said, bro, every play he's under duress. Every play is no separation. Every play he looking for Adam Thielen, bro. It's nothing back there to help that man right now. So we do have to chill out on dude. We got to give him an opportunity to have pieces. We also we got to get this offensive line get healthy. And it's clear as day that the first firing is needs to be Scott Fitterer, bro. He shouldn't have to the bye week. It should be alert on our phone right now that he's been let go. He has made mistake after mistake after mistake. That trade daddy shit is out. Is out. Is out. The shit. None of the trades has worked out in our favor. And as you can see, we're picking number one next year. And we won't be picking. The Bears will be picking for us. So that alone can be a top 10 worst trades of all time. We don't try to be the top 10 worst trade of all time. So he needs to
Yeah,
be fired.
yeah, I 100% agree. We got DJ Free in here. Yo, DJ, man, go ahead and pop your shit, bro.
Yo, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing this morning?
Doing good, DJ, man. Go ahead, bro.
Trying to tell you, Mondays like this just make you grit your teeth, man. We are in poverty right now. Dog. And like you say,
Hey,
man,
DJ, your phone breaking up. Is breaking up just a little bit, bro. We can't hear you.
it's been a lot of poor decisions, man, over the last 2, 3 years that really this offseason, I don't see any progress being made to correct any of them. Or the same, bro.
DJ, we
Or the
can't
same.
hear you, fam.
One
Can
thing
you,
I want to touch on, man, is the delusion of the Carolina fan base. Uh, you got a lot of diehard fans out there, and I respect it, but I got a bunch of partners, right? I'm from the Carolinas. I had raised in Charlotte my whole life.
yo,
And
DJ, can you hear me, bro?
diehard fans, whether
What the
they
hell?
see what's coming or not, they still want to believe that anything's possible. And that's going back to last year. Last year, when we're six, well, 4-6, 4-7, man, we can still push for the playoffs. We can still win this division. What difference does it make if we go into the playoffs and we just get smoked in the wild card? So that's the same approach that's being taken this year. We started 1-5 last year, 1-5 this year. We still got a lot of fans screaming, but we still got going to the playoffs. So we can still win out.
Yo,
At some
DJ, we
point, you got
cannot.
to be real with yourself.
Yo, DJ, can you
Hello?
hear me, fam? Can you hear me?
You hear me?
Yeah, can you hear us? CLT and Christian, y'all can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can definitely
Yes,
hear you,
sir.
Ken.
All right, yeah,
Yes,
all right,
sir.
DJ. I don't know what's going on with your headset, man. Try to pop out and pop back in. I can't hear you, fam. Like it was everything you were saying. We were only getting bits and pieces. All right. So couple things I wanted to cover right quick, fellas, and I want to get y'all opinion on this stuff, man. So I've been trying to sit here and think of what's the plan forward, like for the Panthers, right? Because I think that at 0-5, you very much can start thinking about the future, right? I'm no longer thinking about this season. I'm not thinking about this season and trying to win this year. I'm really thinking about what we can do. And the first thing that I think that we need to do, hey, Ty, if you're listening, Ty, pull back up to the channel, Ty. If you're listening, pull back up to the channel. Um, I really think that the first thing, man, from a personnel standpoint, you got to trade Brian Burns. That is the first thing you got to
Absolutely.
do. Trade Brian Burns. Get Brian Burns the hell up out of town because he's getting frustrated. He's wasting valuable years here in Carolina. He's going to wait. He's going to want entirely too much money, and we have too many holes to fill on this team. Way too many holes to fill on this team. So, personnel point, get a first round pick. If you can get 2 first round picks for him, great. If not, if you can get a first, maybe a first and a second, maybe first, second, and the third. I don't know, but get as much value draft capital as you possibly can for Brian Burns. And honestly, the Chicago Bears would be who I would be calling. I would be calling the Chicago Bears to try to get our pick back from last year. The Chicago Bears is who I would be
They
calling,
ain't they
saying
ain't doing
they
that.
need defensive help. The Bears defense is terrible. The
We're
defense,
gonna be
the
picking too
defense
high.
is
They're not gonna
terrible.
do
I
that.
would be on the phone again, but that's what I'm saying. They already, but think about it, bro. They need defense. The Bears need defense. I would give them a call, Ryan Poles a call to see if that we can trade a first round pick because they got 2 of them. Get them on the phone and try to see if we can get Brian Burns back. Get them for Brian Burns. Let Brian Burns go to Chicago. That's number one. From a front office standpoint, what I would do, you got to fire Scott Fitterer. Scott, I mean, he's been aggressive, but the aggressive moves that he has made have not panned out. They haven't panned out. They haven't worked. It's not. It's everything that he's tried to do. Yes, he's tried, but everything that he's tried to do has been a failure up until this point. It's it's been it's been a failure all the way up until this point. The trades that you've made, bringing in C.J. Henderson, bringing in Sam Darnold, bringing in Baker Mayfield, all of this money you spent on the coaching staff, promote Dan Morgan, fire Scott Fitterer. I think you got to make a change there. I think that's what you got to do. I think that from a front office standpoint, you gotta fire Scott Fitterer. So make that move in the front office, trade Brian Burns, and then see what helps. And then right, the only one he hit on was Gilmore, but he left right after the season. Right, you could have resigned Gilmore. You could have paid him. I would have paid him. I would have definitely paid Stephon Gilmore. You needed a veteran corner. Even with J.C. Horn being on the roster, you needed a veteran corner. Carl ID, what's good with it, man? How you doing, fam? The link is up there at the top, bro. If you scroll up in the comments, you can post it up. But you needed a veteran corner, and you missed out on that. Signing Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders have not did anything. All of the money that we paid Miles Sanders, and Miles Sanders, you know why? Because Miles Sanders was running behind the best offensive line in the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles have the best offensive line in the NFL. That's what he was running behind. He doesn't have that here in Carolina. So, and on top of that, you got to remember, he was in a running back by committee approach in Philly. So he wasn't an every down back. You hit on Frankie Louvu, okay, yeah, you're gonna find a diamond in the rough. You got to pay Louvu. Yeah, I just don't know what else to fucking say, man. We got Courtesy in the building. Courtesy, what's good with it, bro?
Man, what's going on with you? What's going on, fellas? What's happening?
How you doing, bro? How you been?
Man, at this point, man, I can't even get frustrated or upset no more. It's just comedy for real at this point. I mean, all you can do is just sit back and look at this organization and laugh. Because it's like, man, it's like it's like we were literally running around in circles, bro. It's like the thing, the first thing I'm gonna say is, in order to fix this organization to head in the right direction, I think the first step would be to fire Scott Fitterer. Um, just go ahead. Once we fire him, just have Dan Morgan be the interim GM at the end of the season. You fire Frank Reich, and then what David Tepper needs to do is hire an actual president of the company, in which the president of the company will hire the GM will hire its head coach, and the head coach determines whether Bryce Young is the future quarterback of the franchise or not. Because in the past, where we really messed up on was we had Marty Herney. When David Tepper became the owner, we hired Marty Herney was the GM. You fire Ron Rivera, and then you bring in Matt Rule. But then you already knew you was going to replace Marty Herney anyway, so then you hire the GM, and it's not supposed to go that way. You know, you can't hire the head coach first, and then hire the GM, and then already have the GM that came from the previous regime to hire a head coach. You know what I'm saying? You gotta strip it down and start from from the top all the way down to the bottom. So you gotta have a fresh new GM to hire a fresh new head coach, and a fresh new head coach pick their quarterback. That's how it's supposed to be built. If you keep doing in and out stuff like that, we're gonna be in the same predicament. So it's like you can't fire the GM, you can't fire Scott Fitterer and then hold on to Frank Reich with the new GM coming in. It's not gonna work. It's like putting a whole bunch of uh, ingredients in the pot, hoping that it's going to stick and taste good when you're done. And the whole time once it's done, it's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? So, like I know what you're saying about trading Brian Burns, but I wouldn't make that decision prior to getting a new GM in there, because maybe holding on to Brian Burns may be the right thing to do for the new GM. And I wouldn't want Scott Fitterer making that trade knowing how bad he is when it comes to trades. Like, I feel like every trade he makes, we kind of lose out on the deal if you think about it in depth. So
Yeah, but the thing about it is that the trade deadline is at the November So you're running out of opportunities, right? So
But
if we are going to pull the trigger, it has to be done over these next couple of weeks, right? Like, and with
but
us going into our bye week, with us going into our bye week, I think that the bye week is when we're going to see some type of change happen here in Carolina. I don't know what it is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a trade. I don't know if somebody gets fired. I don't know if somebody get let's go. Like you never really know what they. One thing I know about David Tepper, when we start losing and we start like, listen, man, I don't know if y'all have seen the Panthers home games this season, but guys, the other team is dominating our stance. Like the Panthers, like again, when he continues, if David Tepper continues to lose money and the Panthers continue to lose money because the tickets are not selling, because right now, man, Panther tickets are dirt cheap. They're dirt cheap. They're just trying to get people to come to the game because is we're not winning. The season is over with. You're not winning the football game. Is the other teams are dominating our stance when we go to it. So if we keep losing out like this, man, this year, I'm gonna tell you, the first person that is going to be targeted is going to be Scott Fitterer because he's the man behind all of this stuff that's going on, all of this decision making that have been made. It's been him. It's been
right.
him. So Scott Fitterer. But
It's
when it
trade or
comes to
walk. It's
Brian
trade or walk.
Burns,
So
the Panthers have to get back. The Panthers got it round next year. Like there's no way that we can go into the offseason without a first round pick next year. There's no way. We got to get back into the first round, bro. Like we got to bring another first round talent into this team. And honestly, hell, we could use two first round picks next year. Like we have to we have to make sure, bro, that we get our first round pick back next year. That's why I say with Brian Burns, he's our hottest commodity right now. He's in a contract dispute with the Panthers. Even a new GM coming in, like or whoever it is, Dan Morgan. I like Dan Morgan. I think that he can do a really good job. But what I think is, man, that you trade Brian Burns, get first round picks back, get some of this draft capital back that you spent on moving up to number one next year. And then that GM can use that, man, to draft whatever it is. If you fall in the top five, man, you really got to consider thinking about taking a Marvin Harrison Jr., a playmaker weapon. Like you really got to start. You got to put weapons around Bryce. You got to protect Bryce Young. That is the start. That is the start. You got to put weapons around your young quarterback. You got to be able to protect because the Panthers did this shit backwards, right? We built from the outside in instead of from the inside out,
Right.
right? In a rebuild, you're supposed to draft your quarterback first.
Hmm.
But what Matt Rule did is he decided to draft defense first. And oh, yeah, really, none of those defensive draft picks have really hit, the way that they were supposed to hit. In the year that you had a chance to get a Justin Fields, I think that say what you guys want to say about Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a starting quarterback in the NFL.
He should
He
have been the
is.
pick.
He's shown time after time again that he can play. He's a baller. Is he going to have some games here that you got to hit or miss and live with? Absolutely. But so does Kirk Cousins. So does a lot of other quarterbacks in the NFL. Justin Fields is a fucking baller, and him and DJ Moore have chemistry. If you would have took Justin Fields when you were supposed to take Justin Fields,
Hmm.
you could have spent the rest of these drafts filling out the rest of the team.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have to trade up to the number one overall pick if you would have took Fields when you had a chance to draft a quarterback. And maybe we would be a little bit further along in this quote unquote rebuild if you would have took a quarterback when you were supposed to take a quarterback.
Yep.
But because you
I agree.
didn't, you built the team from the outside in. You drafted a corner who can't fucking stay healthy. You drafted a tackle who's a fucking bust. And these are top 10 players on down. We're talking about top 10 caliber talent.
Yep.
And you missed on it. I know we got Carl D in the building, but I got to get this guy's take up here, man. We got Ty in the building. Ty, I got to get your perspective, man, on how things are looking in Carolina. Go ahead, brother. Ty, you there? Yo, Ty, your microphone's still muted, bro. You got to come off mute. Okay, he popped out, popped back in. Not really sure what's going on. Carl D. Carl D. Go ahead, Carl D.
Mm, it's really not. It's really not too much to say. Um, it's looking bad. That's
Bad ain't
you
even the
know.
world, Carl.
Well, the last time I was trying to have optimism. I was like, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. No, I don't even have that no more. After let me address this. What you was saying a little bit about Miles Sanders. Now, Miles, I watch Miles. He's a good running back, but you know what I think also is the problem with Miles. I think they playing. I think he's still hurt, and they still playing that guy. Because if you look at him, dude has no kind of burst at all. He didn't even have burst the first game against Atlanta. I think they threw him in just because I think it's one of the things that they like. Hey, since we paid him, we're gonna put him on the field regardless,
Hmm.
and it's hurting us when everybody, as you see, Chuba should be the starter
Yeah, at
right
this point in
now.
time, Chuba Hubbard is the best running back on the team.
That's
If you ask me,
exact. He is.
Shoot, and LaVisca.
Well, yeah,
right? And
Lavisca.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, because look, they are running hard. Miles, I mean, I can tell Miles, you can tell Miles is still hurt from that hamstring. It takes a while for hamstrings to heal anyway. And if it was as bad as they had said it was, yeah, they threw that man back on the field too a little too early instead of letting him heal up. Because they got him what is it, a 3-year contract?
3 year
I think
deal,
four
man.
years. I think 4 years.
25 million.
They had time. They could have. They had time. They didn't have to rush you. They had time. If
Put
you
about
didn't go
12 to
out
18 pounds on LaVisca, throw his ass in the backfield because he
Twenty
already
five
exact
fucking
Exactly.
exactly,
million
they
dollars.
had. It was no reason to to put Miles Sanders on that field and the dude is hurt and the dude hurt. All you did was hurt the team. I mean, they had time to rest them. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish, but now look what happened. A running game is not doing anything. Well, yesterday it finally looked like it was back on the track like it was against Atlanta, but who knows how long that's gonna last? Because with our team, next week we might not do nothing as usual.
Yeah, we gonna get destroyed last week. Ty, are you back in the building, Ty?
Yo, what it do? Had a issue. Well, we good now. Natural, intellectual, go getting achievers in the building. Well, fellas, we 0-6.
Niggas. That's what it stands for. If everybody want to know what that stands for, it stands for niggas.
Na- Natural, intellectual, go getting achievers. That's what nigga stands for in my dictionary. But we're gonna get back to that later on. Carolina Panthers, we are 0-6, unfortunately. And guess what? We don't have a first round pick next year, and I keep saying it, and I'm gonna keep reminding all Panthers fans, we do not have a first round next year. Guess what? Bryce did good to me, honestly. Yeah, you got a freak athlete on the defensive end on the other side. Honestly, hey, he could have threw it to the foot, or unfortunately got interception. Then he threw an interception, wide open. Bryce is going to make these mistakes. I'm not tripping on Bryce. Bryce need to get them weapons around him. He need to have a supporting cast around him and a coach that can fucking think. Instead of Frank Wright sitting here focusing on calling the plays, make sure your whole damn team is good. Because right now, you're fucking us. You're making us
Yeah.
look crazy. You're trying to call plays in your offense, your defense, your special teams. Your whole fucking team is not doing good. You
True.
need to focus on
Right.
the whole team instead of the offensive side of the ball. Because right
Right.
now, nobody has your back in that locker room. Nobody.
They don't believe in him.
Nobody.
Yeah.
We
He
are
is listen,
literally
going
oh
back to the preseason, he hasn't won a game since he's been a Panthers coach.
we
Going
are
back to
Right.
the
0 and
preseason.
9. We are 0
Shoot,
and
going back to
9.
when he
0
got
and 9.
fired.
Right.
We are 0 and 9. Frank should have never.
We hired a losing
Unfortunately,
coach.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we paid. Unfortunately, Tepper said, "Let me get an offensive guy. Let me go ahead and get your boy Frank Rice, since he has such an amazing offensive playbook." The man ran through 5 quarterbacks in Indianapolis. One of those wasn't him. Unfortunately, Andrew Luck Bell. But bro, he's been through 5 quarterbacks. He's 38, 40, and 1 as a record with the Indianapolis Colts. Bruh, we need to keep that defensive-minded coach in the Panthers Nation, because that's what we all about. Find us an offensive coordinator. Let your boy Thomas go ahead and call the plays, man. And I think he did call those plays in the second half because it kind of looked different.
It
Maybe or
did.
maybe not.
It did. It did, man. It definitely looked different in the second half, man. But again, I just think, man, that like the problems that the Panthers have, guys, it can't be fixed this year. Like it's not like even if you made some switches over to play calls, I think you will see like a little bit better play. But man, we really are talent deprived. Like we really don't have like right now, the Panthers probably gonna be the first team like to not have any Pro Bowlers. Like we probably not gonna have like no Pro Bowlers. There's nobody outside of Brian Burns that I can say have just been playing at a Pro Bowl level.
I got a
Like there's
question.
go ahead.
I'm not legally blind. I'm not blind at all. But was Jeremy Chin in the fucking game?
Yeah,
I
Jeremy
think he
He,
Chin was
played
on
for
the game
18
yesterday.
snaps.
yeah, he
I
got
bet.
burnt on that one touchdown pass by the
I
tight
Yeah,
mean,
he
I
by
did.
the
barely
tight
saw.
end.
I didn't see 21 out there, but oh well. But again,
These
the
niggas
defense
pulled
is
off a
still tight.
reverse
Yeah,
flea flicker on us.
that's the one Jeremy got burnt on.
We
Okay.
allowed our defense got destroyed yesterday.
Yeah, it did. I mean, even when
I mean,
and the,
but you got to
And
think about
guess
our
by who?
defense been keeping us in for the past 4 games. It's
but
just
not
when you're
yesterday. Not yesterday. I
well,
get.
not yesterday. You got to understand. You want to, as much as I kind of didn't like him, but I respected the man, David Gettleman. What he did, he believed in hog mollies.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's go ahead and double down on defensive tackles. You had Starr and you had KK. That was phenomenal. Let's go ahead and double
Yeah, he
down.
did. He did. And offensive lineman. That's what he did. He
He's
was big
big on those.
on the trenches.
Yeah, he's big on that. I
That's
think
what
he
the game is
drafted
on.
Trey Turner. You got to get those hog mollies up front. You got
Mhm.
to. And what you need to do is you need to go ahead and trade Burns. It's time for him to go. You're not going to get 2 first rounds off of him. You're probably only going to get a first round. Hell, he's looking like you're going to get a second off of him.
That's another
He,
reason why
Nah.
you gotta fire Scott Fitterer, bro.
man,
Because
you gotta look
if
at it
Yeah,
like
because
this. You got to look
he
at it like
missed the
this.
trade. When the
You
Rams
got
right,
to
offered us 2
understand
first
this. Look,
round on him, he was supposed to pull the trigger back then.
right,
yeah, but
exactly, you're
check
not
this
gonna
out.
get that value
But
now.
check this out. Unfortunately, the Panthers got to look at a running back doing his motherfucking thing in San Francisco, looking like an MVP. And guess what
Yep,
we got off him? A second round pick
yep.
and what, a fourth? We got a
Yeah,
second round pick and a fourth. And you mean to tell me we couldn't get no first rounds off him?
it's
Come
true.
on.
That's
But I
Talk,
don't
crazy.
want Scott
talk it,
Fitterer
talk
making
your
that
shit.
trade, bro, because he gonna lose the deal. That's exactly
Yeah.
why I'm like,
Yeah.
I would rather trade Burns, even though I feel like even though the trade deadline coming up, I would rather trade Burns on the
So you
offseason,
gotta trade him
franchise
now.
tag him,
You
and
got
trade
to.
him in the
You
offseason,
got to
bro.
you got to trade him
What's the point?
now
What's the
because
point
if
of
you don't,
trading him and then we're going to complain next year that we don't have nobody getting to the quarterback?
That
But bro,
true,
but
that
when
too.
so let me answer that question, right?
I
So
had showed even with pass rush we're not a contender. So what's the purpose of having
yeah,
him?
but even with pass rushing, man, Brian Burns only got 4 sacks on the season. I mean, he got
Yeah, he got
4.
more than Nick Bosa
Hey,
do
that's
right
out of
now.
Yeah,
5 games, though. That's out of
yeah,
5 games.
but what I'm saying is like he's doing his thing, man. But what you got to understand is that even with him on the roster and he's dominating, it's still not equating to wins. So
That's not his
it
fault
like,
though.
yeah, I know that's not his fault, but my thing about it is in football, we have so many holes that we're not a defensive end away from being a contender. So
true.
even if we're like with him, we're getting him off the board you're really basically saying to myself that I'm going to sacrifice this position to fix everything, all the other million and one holes, and then we hope that we can come back around, man, and get somebody that can pass rush the ball later in the draft or something like that, man. Because again, what is the point of having him on a team? Number one. And it sounded like, honestly, I don't know if y'all saw the press conference yesterday, but it sounded like they already made up in their mind that they trying to trade Brian Burns because Frank Wright came out and said that he said Brian Burns don't deserve this. He said it. He said it yesterday. He said Brian Burns really don't deserve him being in this situation. He said that he has not had a winning season since he's been on the team. Brian Burns have not been a part of a winning team here in Carolina since he's been here. And we're talking about his fifth season, and he hasn't been on not one Panther winning team. So I think they already have it up in their mind that they're going to try to get him up out of Carolina, bro. Like, because why would you pay him 28 to 30 million a year on a team that has holes all over the roster? You don't have a number one pick next year. You're probably 2 to 3 years away from being like a real contender. Like the Panthers will be
We
better.
got to stop that. We got to stop that real contender mess. I've been hearing that since Cam left. We got to
But
stop
that's what
that.
I'm saying. But it's
We got to
true.
stop that 2017. I've been hearing that we're going to be a number one contender or we're going to be a contender in the future. Like I told you last week, Stanley, we are in the future. We've been in the future for 7 to 8
But we're
years
not going to
now.
be a contender right now, though. We're not going to be a contender right now, though. It doesn't matter if we're in the future or not. We're not contending right now.
We're not
There's
contending
not.
in the next 3 or 4 years then.
Yeah, we're not a contender right now. So if you say that we're in the future right now, hell, we're not contending. So to me, the only thing I can look at is the next fucking season. Because this season is over with. You're not going to contend this year. So
True.
what the fuck am I supposed to be looking at? Am I not
Well,
supposed to be saying to myself that, hey, next year's not going to, like, what else is there to look forward to but mediocrity
we're gonna
after
have to prepare
mediocrity?
for a long 2 or 3 year rebuild.
That's
Unfortunately, we're gonna
why
have to go.
Yeah.
I know.
We're gonna we're gonna
So
have to
that's
go
why I
through
said you
extreme
might as
rebuild.
well,
Jump started.
but this is
You
the
gotta tear
thing.
it down.
But this is the thing. That's exactly why you trade Brian Burns.
Yep.
Because you're going to have this bitch is going to have to be burned down to ashes before Phoenix can ride up out of that motherfucker.
But you
You're
can't
going to
trade
have,
everything to the point where you're gonna look disgusted next year.
No, no,
bruh.
he ain't
That's not
saying
what
that. He just
that's
said
not what I'm
trade
saying.
Burns.
What I'm saying is that right now Burns is your most tradable asset on the team.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody else that's a tradable asset than Brian Burns. So for Brian Burns, what I'm saying is you really should have pulled the trigger. And those that have been following me for the last year, when the Rams offered us that, I said that the Panthers should have pulled the trigger then.
Yep.
They, I called that shit. They should have did it then. But no, you were hoping that this was a retool instead of a complete rebuild. See, if motherfuckers was listening to Big Waves off season ago, when Big Waves was trying to tell y'all dumb motherfuckers out here, and yes, I'm talking to a lot of the other Panther streamers, that shit
Yep.
that's going on out here. When I was trying to tell you that fuck trying to retool the team. No,
Yep.
the way that you avoid mediocrity is by burning it all the way down and starting over. Look at the Detroit Lions. They are a prime example of it. They burnt that team all the way down to nothing. Traded away their quarterback. They traded away all their assets and they got draft picks. And guess what? They hit on those draft picks. They hit on them because they got a good coach. Dan Campbell is a hell of a fucking coach, and he's a defensive minded coach. But they had a great offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson.
No,
So
he
you
don't.
got
He don't.
you got to be able to do that. And another thing, the Panthers have to have some guys in that front office that know what the fuck is going on. You
But
can't
they
you can't
need.
it doesn't matter what we do if the man at the top does not know what the fuck he's doing.
Exactly.
He
Yep.
doesn't know what he's doing. He needs to hire
A
a
president.
football minded goddamn
President.
staff, that
Yeah.
a president that knows what the fuck. I'm gonna tell you who you need to go get right now. Go get Louis Riddick. Go get Louis Riddick and bring
Exactly,
Louis
bro.
Riddick
Oh
in as the
man.
president of the Panthers. Go get go get Louis Riddick.
Yeah. He could be
You
the
got to go
GM.
get ball.
Louis Riddick
David
could be
Tepper
the
is not a
GM for
football
sure.
mind. Right. He's a but bro. David Tepper is just a businessman. He's not a football minded owner. He does not know the game. He doesn't. He needs to hire a council of guys that are former players, that are former GMs, former guys that have had some success that can come in here and be an advisor to him on a day-to-day base. He needs advisement on how to run a football team. He cannot run this team because guys, he took over when in 2019, 2018 when David Tepper took over. Bro, we have not had anything good happen to the Panthers since he's taken over ownership.
That's true. That's true.
Nothing good has come out of David Tepper being the owner of this team. So it doesn't matter, guys, if you fucking you go get this guy or that guy. If the fucking head of the snake is not cut off, then you can't kill the body. Like literally, bro, you can't. It starts at the top, man. And until we get better there and have more consistency at the top, we're gonna forever be in mediocrity. It's going to continue to be. It's going to continue to be terrible. But you got to burn this bitch all the way down to the ground in order for you to rebuild. And then another thing you have to do, you got to start hitting on these draft picks. You cannot keep drafting injury prone motherfuckers or guys that are bust. We basically done missed on the last two drafts. So the years that
Well,
we were supposed to be rebuilding, the years that we were supposed to be rebuilding, which should have been 3 years ago, those years were wasted because the guys that you drafted in the top 10, they haven't panned out. So not the Bryce Young, but the Equanu and JC Horn picks, they haven't panned out. And those guys both got drafted in the top 10.
yeah, that's mm. Well. This is just. I was just thinking about this. This is what's so strange. Now, Federal used to hit on draft picks in Seattle, and he come to Carolina. I don't know, for whatever reason, the man is not good at drafting. And also, look at our owner. You would think David Tepper would know more about football. He been a minority owner in the Steelers for years, during their Super Bowl years. He was even one of the ones that helped with the hiring of Mike Tomlin. He take over the Panthers, and he seems like he don't know what the hell is going on. So are we cursed? Do y'all think we cursed?
No, we're just in the middle of a rebuild.
It seems. I mean, because these two guys, you would think the way they operated at the previous spots, that our team should be way better than what it is. They come here, since they both of them been here, we ain't been doing nothing but mediocrity. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy. I
But
say
again,
trade Burns.
what Wade's saying, man, you gotta trade him because you're gonna either trade him or he gonna walk. Even if we offer him the bag, I still see him walking if we don't franchise tag him. Like you
That's
said, he
true.
tired of losing.
Yeah, that's true. If you don't trade Burns before this deadline, you're gonna lose him in the off season. Because why would we? Okay, I know it might be a lot of Burns lovers, uh, either on the panel or in the are listening, but you really don't want to pay Burns all that $30 million for the production that he gave us. Is not worth $30 million.
It,
Uh, you got some
it,
more people, and you got some more players coming up that you're gonna have to worry about paying. You got Derek. So okay, so if you pay Brian Burns, are you ain't gonna have the money for Derek Brown?
another thing too, though, man, about that. That's true what you're saying, Carl ID. But I just don't understand why you would be paying him that kind of money, man. When he's going to be on a losing team, like it would
True.
be different. It would be different if like we were literally just a defensive end away, man, from being a contender. But bro, we have a ton of holes that got to be filled on this team.
That's
I don't
true.
understand why you would pay him all of that money. What's the point of having a high end defensive end paid defensive end on your team and you still losing every fucking game.
Exactly, man.
Like that shit don't make any sense to me. So it makes no sense when you can use that money to start trying to build a foundation to draft younger guys, man, and get guys in here that you can that's on rookie deals that you can start building some pieces around, man, and start doing some things like. But man, we about to get up out of here, y'all. I'm tired of talking about these sorry motherfuckers, man. Like for real, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm tired of talking about the Panthers, man. It's the same shit year in and year out. I don't see any change in sight, guys. This season is pretty much. I mean, it ain't even. It's already over. Like we're only at the halfway point, and this season is already over. You know what I'm saying? We're not even at the halfway point yet, and this season is already over for Carolina. So the only thing that I can hope, man, or what I want to see on this year, just who on the team is going to step up and still go out there and play lights out for the Panthers. Who's going to be the leaders. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Bryce Young get better as the season progressed. He showed me a little bit more yesterday, man. Like if you look at the touchdowns that Bryce Young threw yesterday, he looked like a legit quarterback. Yes, he made some
Yeah.
mistakes with the picks. He's going to do that. That's going to happen, man. You got to live with some of that shit. He's a rookie quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I think we really won't see what we have in him until we're able to put some more pieces around him, protect him a lot better, and then we'll see what we got and to see if we made the wrong decision with the number 1 overall pick this past season. So, uh, fellas, Panther Nation, to all my fellow Panther Nation players out there, guys, it's embarrassing. It's atrocious. It's horrific.
Yeah.
The games, the home games, guys. You probably right now can go buy a Panthers ticket, man, on Temu. Like seriously,
Damn.
man. Like literally. That's how bad. That's how bad this team is.
Damn.
And I,
Tickets
I
still
don't see
high,
it.
if you believe it or not. That shit's crazy.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see it getting any better, man. Like I really don't. I don't see it getting any better. So you know, everybody, let's just keep our head hopes and prayers, man, for the news that over the bye week, man, somebody will get fired and hopefully, man, that starts a chain reaction to us, getting back on track. Shit, man, I ain't even been wearing my Panther shit like that, man, because the shit is just it's just embarrassing. It's really just embarrassing to be a Panther fan right now, man. But only thing we can do, man, is I'm not switching teams. I'm never go change. I'm never go switch up. If we can't, we got to be there through the bad times. Hell, if this team is terrible the rest of my goddamn life, which they've already been terrible majority of my life, right? They've already been terrible about 85% of my life. They've been terrible
Damn.
because I'm only 32 years old. So you got to think about it. The team came in 1996. So that means that they've only had 6 winning seasons. So that means that 25 of the years that I've been living, the Panthers have been losing. Put that in perspective. Put that shit in fucking perspective, guys. Anybody that knows math, I'm not great at it, but 25 of the fucking years I've been living, the Panthers have been terrible. So on that note, man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Life is Just a Wave podcast, man. I appreciate Carl ID, CLT, Courtesy, Omar, Ty, everybody that pulled up, DJ Free, everybody that pulled up to the channel today, man. We'll be alive again. Hell, once we start winning, I don't know, man, but I don't,
Oh Lord,
I
that
don't,
might
I
not be
don't,
it.
I don't fucking know, man. I mean, I just don't got nothing to talk about, man. I mean, what can I? Like, Carl, I ain't been going live because I don't got nothing to talk about. I
I
mean,
understand
I
that.
can
I
only talk about
understand
mediocrity for so long. God damn it. Shit. I'm tired of talking about this shit,
I
man.
don't blame you.
Hell, man. We gonna start talking about other teams eventually, god damn it.
Oh my.
Yeah, shit, man. I mean, but man, again, if you're new to the channel, man, make sure you like and subscribe, man, to the channel. I appreciate everybody's support and love, man. Y'all don't understand, man, what it mean with you for your boy. And hey, man, let's just continue to keep our hope, man. That's the only thing that we holding on to. So I will talk to y'all, man, on the flip. Call ID. I appreciate you,
All
man.
right.
I'll holler at everybody later on, man. Y'all be easy.
All right.